What's happening, everybody? How we doing? 10 Page with Tim. It's good to see everybody. Rocking and rolling. How you guys doing? It's good to see everybody today. That's going to be jumping on wherever you're calling in from. Wherever you're watching from, type it in the comments because it's always fun to see where people are watching from. We got people from Bulgaria, Australia, the Philippines, the UK, Mexico, Canada, all over the USA that jump on these sometimes. So check it out. Write down where you're watching from. It's 10 Page with Tim. For those of you that don't know, I read 10 pages of a good book, and then I share my experience with what I read or lack thereof, because there's many, many years in my life where, I talked a good game. I'm a good starter, bad finisher. I get all excited, and I would never follow through. All these things that I failed at, and now I'm on a different path doing a lot of different things that I follow through with, and how that has worked for me. And so I have a very unique perspective in reference to a lot of failure, self-inflicted, and then a lot of failure through a lot of growth. And so what I forgot to do is I forgot to put my light on, and so I'm going to put my light on my computer. I got this brand new light. It's pretty dope. This is definitely something that I ordered online that works. If you look at my last post, Natalie and I ordered these hats. I actually ordered the hats, so that's probably the problem. And they came and they're just janky. I mean, they look like just horrible. But you got to laugh at that, right? So I'm going to put the light on here on my computer. As you guys can see, boom, this is pretty awesome. So I'm going to put the light on this bad boy. There we go. Awesome. Look at that. Gives me a little bit more light. All right, so 10 Pages with Tim. Here we go. The book that I am reading is Born to Win. I got a haircut today. Man, oh man, do I feel like $1 million. It's not even funny. If you've got a recent haircut, put that in the comments if you can. I mean, it's just unbelievable what a haircut can do for you. So here we go. Born to Win, Zig Ziglar. And his son Tom co-authored this book, and it so far is awesome. It says, I got to put my glasses on for this one. You know what I'm talking about. And if you know anybody that you think could hear a good message, what's happening, Chris? Could hear a good message, go ahead and tag them, right? We need more positivity. We need to share more positive stuff. We need to uplift each other. Yes, we all can disagree and argue all day long, and we can plant our flag in the sand, and we can draw our line in the sand, and we could say, you need to understand where I'm coming from, and I'm not coming to there unless you know what I'm saying, and all this garbage. And rather than telling people what they have to do or what they should think, why don't you just start putting the goodness out there of who you are and allow people to be attracted to what you're all about? So that's what I'm trying to do, and I want you guys to do it with me because people are going to do what they're going to do. People are going to do Jim Rohn. I don't know if any of you guys know Jim Rohn. If you know Jim Rohn, put a like sign in the comments. But Jim Rohn, says, I wouldn't sign up for that class. And he sounds like that. He was Tony Robbins' mentor. And he just says, I wouldn't sign up for that class. People are just going to be the way they are. And so you need to be the way you are to attract what you want in your life. And so here we go. I'm going to be giving the goodness of what I take in to you, because for so many years, I gave out the nastiness and the negative that I used to take in. So here we go. I have no doubt you were born to win. But remember that before you can win, you must plan to win and prepare to win. I'm sure we've all heard the term, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Then and only then can you expect to win, if you prepare and plan. Planning to win is the first step to winning process, and unfortunately, people resist making a plan. I never made plans. I would go and I would hear somebody say, this is what you got to do, and I'd be like, yeah! And I just grab it like it was a bunch of mud, and I just throw it at the wall and hoping something would stick, rather than tracking stuff, saying this is my plan, I'm going to work the plan, and then I'm going to look back, as my mentor, Jeff Olson, the CEO of the company, says, I'm going to plan, do, then review. I'm going to plan the plan, do the plan, review the plan, and go back to planning a new plan, because I've reviewed my old plan and I did it, and I'm going to review what's going to work next. So we go on to say, after all, nothing is more embarrassing than creating a plan and then failing to successfully execute the plan. You have to come up with a lot of excuses about why the plan didn't work. So that's where most people sabotage themselves, me included, is that, you know what, I'm just going to go out there and grab the mud, throw it against the wall and hope it sticks and not plan. That way I can say, well, I tried, which is a bunch of bullshit. I didn't try at all. What I did was I went out there and I did just enough to make me feel not bad about myself, but I didn't get out of my comfort zone to actually go succeed. I never really followed the direction of successful people who said, Tim, do a dream board. Tim, write out your goals specifically like this, a SMART goal. Tim, make a plan and then work the plan and track everything. That which we don't inspect, we cannot expect. And so I was like, yeah, got it, totally cool. And then I'd go out there and I'd do it my way, like I did for the last 20 years with everything in my life. And I got crazy results in life, right? And I would wonder why I'm not where I'm at. Why don't I have the success? And then I'd compare everyone's outsides to my insides, and feel like horrible, right? Because I'm like, well, I'm doing what they're doing, which I wasn't, right? It's like I wasn't doing what they were doing. It's so important to keep an honest dialogue with oneself. That's exactly right. Sadly, Suzanne, Shazam, Suzanne, I'll never forget that. And Suzanne's in Florida, everybody. She's a photographer. She's incredible. Roy Jones Jr., she might be doing his photo shoot. Shh. So little hint right there. We met on an airplane. She's on my team in Eora. She's a phenomenal photographer in the Tampa Bay, St. Pete area. She did some photo shot for me and Natalie. She's totally dope. Christopher Hucks also. He's a physical therapist. If you guys want any about that, he's helping me out. Just loving people that help other people. And so when it comes to honest dialogue with oneself, self-appraisal in my book wasn't enough because I can co-sign my own bullshit. Let's just be honest. I can tell myself what I need to tell myself in order to make me be okay. I can't, it's hard for me to be honest about who and what I really am and what's going on. I need help from other people. And that right there in itself is a tough thing to do. Asking for help, right? I got this. I got it. I'm good, right? And especially if you failed like I did, self-inflicted failing, I always pick myself back up and go, no, I need to prove to everybody that I can do it. And that was just more self-will. And I would always fail again. The trick was to say, I give up. I surrender. I need help. And that's what happened was I got my ego out of the way. And I allowed other men and mentors in my life to come in, and I was willing for them to tell me the truth about myself, which I couldn't see on my own. I had an idea, right? It's like being 10,000 feet in the air and go, oh yeah, I see that garden down there of flowers. And then walking through the garden, the view's just a little bit different. And so that's what I did with my life with other people. They helped me do that. And so that was the first part of the plan to be able to have what this is talking about for me, which is fear, right? I was more afraid of success than I was of failure because I always failed. I could never, as the book says, you come up with a lot of excuses of why the plan won't work, so you don't ever do the plan. So desire is the difference, though, between you being an enthusiastic planner, passionately working through all the things you need to be successful at, or just going through the motions. For me personally, that was definitely me, right? I didn't really have the desire because I didn't have the hope that I could actually do this. I didn't have the belief in myself. It's hard to have a real burning desire when you don't believe you can do it. And so it all came back to self-worth for me. I don't know about you, but it did for me. And my friend Suzanne, I know that she, for the past 2 or 3 years, has been going through a process. And we're going to talk about what success really is. It's a process. You make decisions throughout the entire process. Like I said, plan, do, review. Plan, do, review. Decisions are being made constantly. Yes, we make one big decision to move forward, but we're constantly making decisions based on the action that we did after we made a decision. And so we then look back and go, okay, did that work? What happened? What's going on? Let's make another decision. And you're constantly course correcting, right? They say that a rocket on the way to the moon is off track 99.9% of the time, or like 98.5% of the time, something crazy. So it's got a gyroscope that's constantly telling it left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right on its way to the moon. It isn't just all the way to the moon. We are no different based on the goals that we set and going towards our goals. Life is going to kick our ass. Things are going to happen which are constantly knocking us off of our destination. And so our gyroscope can be your mentors, it can be the books you read, it can be the associations that you have, it can be the goals that you have that you're constantly setting. It's a process, right? So it goes on to say, if you have the kind of desire that I've shared with you in this chapter, planning becomes something you get to do rather than something you have to do. I have switched over to this is something I get to do. My whole life it was, God, I have to do that. Ask any of my friends that I grew up with. Right? Tim, do this. Oh, do I have to? I mean, it was absolutely brutal. Wow, there's a lot of comments here. She says, love it, Suzanne. I grew up in the Clearwater. That's right. Chris grew up in Clearwater. That's right. Amen. Us men don't have to admit our weaknesses or share our burdens with others. Yeah, right. That just kept me closed off to the sunlight of the Spirit, right? Being able, I'm good, I got this, right? And that's that ego. But it goes on to say, instead of saying I have to, I get to. And we all know that we do a much better job when we have a I get to attitude. The question we need to ask ourselves is, why do I want to accomplish what I want to accomplish? Why am I doing it? And they say, when you know the why, the how takes care of itself, right? When you know what you desire, you can enthusiastically create an action plan to achieve it, and you will be genuinely motivated to follow through. This in itself was a process for me, creating the why, right? Here's what I'm talking about. Some people, as Jeff Olson talks about in The Slight Edge, come to a place of disgust or despair, and they make a decision, and they're like, nope, done. I'm doing this. I'm changing my life. And they take the actions. Most other people are just rocking along and have become used to being uncomfortable with not succeeding where they want to go. They are not failures in life, but they're not where they want to be. And they've become comfortable in that mediocrity. I was one of those people. In fact, I became not only comfortable with mediocrity, I became comfortable with building my life up, tearing it down, building it up, tearing it down, and just kept that nasty cycle going. I got addicted to the adrenaline rush of having to build my life up. I had no idea what it meant to thrive. And so I came to a place in my life, and I had to figure out why I was doing what I was doing. It's pretty crazy because I don't know if anyone else has ever experienced this. But when you sit down, I just wrote a 5-year vision statement, right? And they told us, I've got 2 mentors in my business that are former Tony Robbins coaches. It's unbelievable who I'm surrounded with in my company. And we do this 5-year vision statement. You're supposed to write out a 5-year vision statement of a day in your life 5 years from now. Literally, what are the smells? Where are you? What does it look like? What type of bed do you have? What do you walk out of when you walk out of your door? What does your job look like? What does your bank account look like? What do your relationships look like? What does your family look like? Specific, right? And when you start doing that, if you've never done it before, rather than getting excited about what you want to have, you become seriously focused on what you don't have. Because anytime you focus on something that you want, you realize what you don't have. And so you need to be surrounded with people and reading books and doing things for your health and your spirit and your mentality and your faith to let yourself know you are worthy of passing through the chatter going on in your head and the fear that's saying, no, you're not worthy. And so you need to be around the associations, whether that's in your faith, whether that's in your business or family, that tell you and allow you to believe that, yes, you are worth it. And if you have stuff going on in your life like I did, drugs and alcohol, couldn't get over it on my own, I need to be around people who, again, were able to show me how to see the truth in who I was. And I needed to see it in them, and I needed to follow them, and I did. So here we go. It says, Zig Ziglar says, a fellow speaker, and I'm saying his last name wrong, I bet, Joe Sabah, says, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to start to be great. I think we've all heard that before, right? It's pretty awesome. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to start to be great. This means you have to be before you do and do before you have. You have to be worthy before you do, right? I have to be great. I have to start. I have to be worthy. Then I start. Then I become worthy, right? Be, do, have. Each of us, female, male, young or old, black or white, short or tall, big or slim, have desires to make a difference. All of us want to make a difference, right? You've probably heard it in movies before when someone says, what do you want out of this world? I just want to be remembered. I want to feel like I made a difference, right? I want to feel like I made a difference. I don't want to be on my deathbed and go, well, I went to work, right? And look, that's very honorable and a lot of respect for people, because I didn't do that for a long, long time. I was lazy. I was so lazy. Procrastination, sloth, just nasty, right? Selfish, self-centered, self-pity, egos. I was craziness. And so I wasn't able to do that. And so I respect people that live their whole life and able to pay the bills and live a good life. But there's something inside the human spirit that says, I want to be remembered somehow from either the people around me, or I want to make a difference. And that's what he says. It doesn't matter who you are. Every human has that desire. And most people are interested in success and health, prosperity, happiness, friends, peace, and security. So what is your definition of success? What is your definition? Most people think of success in terms of power, recognition, accumulation of money, or material things. They also try to define it with one sentence to capture it with one central idea. Now, true, success has more components than one sentence or idea could ever contain. But I'm going to stop right there, and I think that the best definition of success that I've ever heard, because it is, for me, not a destination. Every time that I've accumulated something or I've gotten somewhere, I felt like, is this it? And so I needed to be honest with myself and realize that I'm never going to get there. In fact, I have a mentor in my life. When we first met and I told him my story, he said, Tim, it sounds like you're living and you've lived your life in quiet desperation, quietly and desperately hoping that someday you'll get there, wherever there is. He goes, there is no there. He said, life is the journey, and that is the destination. Life is meant to be lived forward and only understood looking back. He said, so there will never be a place where you get to where you'll be like, this is it, I can quit. Because we're human beings, and we're either growing or dying, and there's no in between. And so I started to ingrain myself in that whole process, and now I find myself to be successful if I am following this definition of success, which is Jeff Olson is the CEO of our company. Success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And my ideal is living my life through these principles of happiness, honesty, compassion, forgiveness, kindness, tolerance, love, all of those principles. If I'm living that way, then I am living an ideal, which is God's vision for who I want to be, right? It's a perfect ideal. I don't need to be perfect, but I do need to go towards that perfect ideal. Because for so many years, I was just the complete opposite of that. Soaking this all in, needed this, Tim, proud of you, brother. I love you, Bridget, it's my sister. And so success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So it means as long as I am progressing towards a worthy ideal of becoming the best version of myself, knowing that if I'm doing that, I attract the people in my life that will get me to where I need to go. And I, in turn, will then bless their lives. Inky Johnson, who played for Tennessee, and he became paralyzed in his left arm, can't play football anymore. He said that your purpose only exists for someone else's purpose. And that blow your mind. You got to think about that for a little bit. Your purpose only exists for someone else's purpose. Because as Zig Ziglar said at the beginning of this book, the only time that I can have true desire is if I have hope. The only way I have hope is if I see it in somebody else, to have me believe that I can too. And so if I see somebody living their purpose, then it gives me hope that I might be able to do that as well, which allows me to feel worthy, to have enough desire to create a plan, to work the plan, and then review the plan. And I'm continuing that process. So to me, again, success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal, and it never ends. Man, that was a lot. So Michelle Gia, good morning, Tim. Love you in Australia. Love you too, Michelle. Mwah. You guys are killing it. Life is a journey, not a destination. That's right, brother. And it has been a long journey up to this point, and I hope it stays even longer for me. I mean, the best years are yet to come, right? So I love you guys. Have an awesome Tuesday. Hopefully we'll see you next time on 10 Pages with Tim. Make sure to tag somebody in the comments if you think this is a message that they'd love to hear. Share it if you want to share it, and type in where you're watching in from. Always cool to see that. You guys have an awesome Tuesday. Make it a great day.